Hi everyone, and welcome to my June monthly wrap-up. This month I read 4 books, which, you know, to the average person probably seems like not that much, but I'm a slow reader. I read like 1 book a month, so this is a pretty average month for me. So anyway, let's go ahead and start talking about the books I read this month. The first book I read this month was called Bunny by Mona Awad. This book was so bad, like I'm talking about so bad. I only read this book because Kayla over at Books and Lala speaks so highly of this book and she said she loved it. So I was like, you know, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna read it and I'm gonna see what I think. And y'all, I gave it a 1 out of 5 stars. It was so bad. Like, I don't get what all the hype is about. I genuinely can't even tell you what this book is about. Like, it was all over the place. I don't even know what the heck was happening. I don't even know how it ended. So I guess I'll try and give you like a little synopsis of what it was about. It was basically about this girl in college who I guess joined a cult. They all called themselves Bunny and they were always like, I love you, Bunny. No, I love you, Bunny, and like weird stuff like that. And I guess they were bringing rabbits to life and turning them into men. Honestly, that's all I can tell you because I genuinely have no idea what the freak this book was about. So anyways, go into this book at your own peril, and if you loved it, that's so awesome, but I hated it, so it's definitely a 1 out of 5 star for me. So the next book that I read was called Every Last Fear by Alex Finlay, and this is one of those thrillers that kind of has 2 mysteries to it. There was a past mystery and a current day mystery. So I guess I'll talk about the past one first. 8 years ago, there was a high school girl from a small town who was found murdered. Her face was beaten in really bad with a rock, and it was one of those things where there was like no DNA evidence, there was no, you know, camera activity, there was just no evidence. So anyway, they arrested the boyfriend because obviously he was the last one to be seen with her, and the boyfriend flat out admitted that he did this, but later on he said that he only admitted to doing this because he felt pressured into it. He thought that if he admitted to it that he would be able to go home because, like I said, these were high school students. So a lot of people actually agree with him and think that he was coerced into admitting a false confession. And then anyway, we're gonna fast forward to the current day mystery, and this involves his family. The guy that falsely confessed, this involves his family. They all go on a vacation to Mexico minus one of his brothers, and when they're in Mexico, the whole family is murdered. At first, everyone thinks it's an accident because they think it's a gas leak, but no, upon further inspection, we learn that it is indeed a murder and someone was trying to cover it up and make it look like an accident. I will say this though, both mysteries at the very end of this end up connecting, so you need to read the book to figure out exactly what that means. I did not see the ending coming. Now that I'm looking back at it, I realized that I should have saw it coming, but I didn't. It was a really good read. I love me a good thriller, and I ended up giving it a 4 out of 5 stars. The next book that I read is called House of Hollow by Krystal Sutherland. This is one of those trippy books, guys. It's like magical realism meets mystery, meets sisterly bonding, and it's so much fun. This book is about 3 sisters who, when they were all under the age of 11, magically disappeared for over a month, and no one knows what happened to them, but after a month they were returned, and they don't remember anything that happened in that month. So it's kind of like a really big mystery, and it made the news, so they're kind of famous. After they returned, weird things started to happen. For one, they got like powers where they can kind of mind control people, and number 2, before they disappeared, they all had black hair and blue eyes, and when they came back they started to develop like white hair and really dark eyes, and no one knows why the heck this is happening. This is one of those books that's really hard to explain because it's really weird, and I don't know, I can't explain it that well. Just know that if you love magical realism and you like a good mystery and you love a good sisterly bond, this, my friends, is the book for you. So many interesting things happen. The one thing I will say though is at the end of the book, I didn't know how to feel. Like, I didn't know if I should feel sad or happy. I guess when you guys read it, you'll understand what I'm talking about. But yeah, I gave this book a 3 out of 5 stars. The last book that I read this month was called Covet by Tracy Wolff. It's the 3rd book in the Crave series, and let me just tell you right now, this book was my favorite of the month. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. It was so good. This is one of those books that you either love or hate, but I definitely love the series. So it's kind of hard to talk about a 3rd book in the series without spoiling anything. So I'll just say this. If you love supernatural, if you love fantasy, if you love love triangles and friendship groups and found family and all that junk, you're gonna love this series. So basically what the story is about is a girl named Grace whose parents both die, and she gets sent to an Alaskan boarding school to go and live with her Uncle Finn, who was the headmaster of this school. This school is full of magical beings. I'm talking about werewolves, dragons, vampires, witches, gargoyles. Like, there's so many fun creatures at this school. She basically goes to school and there is love triangles and romances. There is LGBTQ representation in here. There's parent drama, there's brother drama, there's love drama. Guys, this book just has it all. And in this book specifically, they actually leave the boarding school and go on missions, and it's so exciting. Like, I love it so much. So I don't know how to explain it without spoiling the other two books. So just know that if you've not read the Crave series, it's basically Twilight mixed with Legacies, but better. And I promise you that by the third book, it gets so much better. Like, this is the best book in the whole series so far. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars.